Hello and welcome to my DC cinematic universe. As someone who was a big fan of DC, I was excited when the DCU was first announced. Finally getting to see the Justice League just like in the cartoon we all used to watch. Seeing Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash come together on the big screen. And then we got this.
Why did you say that name? Martha, why did you say that name?
Stop! Please, stop!
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name! It's his mother's name.
As the movies got worse and worse, it didn't help that Marvel and the MCU took off delivering the ultimate superhero experience in theaters, not only to comic book fans, but to mainstream audiences. But now, James Gunn is bringing together his DCU, but I just want to give my take on the DC cinematic universe. I watched countless videos of people creating their own, but one stood out to me by a YouTuber named Superframe, who stood out to me, so I definitely took some influence from him in this universe. Okay, first off, I created this as if the DCU doesn't exist, so I will not be incorporating any of James Gunn ideas. Also, it does not connect to the DCU at all. This is a clean slate, so let's begin. Starting out, phase 1 and kicking off my entire universe is Batman, the Caped Crusader. This movie is about Batman, a veteran who has been operating in Gotham for about 10 years. Dick Grayson has already moved on and became Nightwing. Barbara Gordon is crippled and is Oracle and helps Batman like in the Arkham games. And Jason Todd has already been killed by the Joker. So Batman is a loner. He doesn't want help from others, seeing what happened to Jason as his fault. The main plot is someone has put a bounty on Batman's head and multiple assassins come to Gotham to claim it. Villains such as Deadshot, Lady Shiva, Killer Croc, and Deathstroke, who will serve as the main villains in this film. Batman has to now figure out who put the bounty on him while stopping these villains who are bringing chaos to Gotham. Catwoman will also be in this movie, doing her usual Catwoman thing, but also wants to help Batman. While fighting assassins, Batman is interrogating mob bosses such as Black Mask, Penguin, Two-Face, and even Joker to see if they put the bounty on him. Basically, in the final act, we find out it was Carmine Falcone who put the bounty out. When Batman goes to interrogate him, he says how crime used to be organized and controlled, but since Batman and other heroes showed up, it's chaos now, and all other villains have shown up and changed everything, setting up the whole universe, letting the audience know this will not be a grounded universe. Movie 2 in phase 1 is Wonder Woman. A typical Wonder Woman movie, Diana grew up on Themyscira and always heard of the world of men, and is intrigued when Steve Trevor washes up on the island and Diana brings him back. The big difference with my movie is that it takes place in modern day. This movie takes a big influence from the Wonder Woman Rebirth Year 1 storyline in the comics. Steve is a current day soldier fighting a war against a terrorist group known as Seer. Diana will also meet Barbara Minerva as an ally. Also, with Diana winning a competition to be the one to bring Steve back to the world of men. In helping against the group Seer, we find out it was all set up by Ares as a way to get to Themyscira. The movie ends with Wonder Woman defeating Ares and deciding to stay in the world of men to help the people. This will give Diana the fish out of water story as she tries to navigate to current day world. Movie 3 in phase 1 is Superman, Man of Tomorrow. An early Superman, only about a year or two in his career, this movie will take heavy influence from the Superman Secret Origin series, setting up Superman and Lex's rivalry. Clark meets Lois Lane and sees her as a strong, feisty reporter who will put her own life on the line to get the truth out. Having Lex create a metal known as Metallo and trying to usher it into the military with General Lane, but is outshined by Superman, which leads to them starting a smear campaign against him. The main villain will be Metallo, who was a soldier under General Lane who Luthor modified with his Metallo metal with a kryptonite heart. Having Superman save people from Metallo will lead the people of Metropolis stand up for Superman at the end of the movie when General Lane tries to pin everything on him. Pretty much establish Superman as this universe's beacon of hope and Earth's greatest protector. Movie 4 in phase 1 will be Green Lantern's Light. The origin story of Hal Jordan getting a ring and becoming a Green Lantern, taking heavy influence from Green Lantern's Secret Origins. We will see Hal training and teaming up with Sinestro, who will remain a Green Lantern for the entire movie. However, we will hint at his dictator-ish ways. Hal and Sinestro will stop Atrocitus, free Red Lantern, who killed Abin Sur and is on a rampage on Earth, and stopping him from killing someone who comic readers will know as William Hand. But that will only be the first half of the movie. The main villains will be the Manhunters, the Guardians' first attempt at an intergalactic police force that failed and killed the entire Sector 666, which is the sector that Atrocitus is from. We learned that Ivan Sir found out about this when he was tasked with capturing him and was on his way back to Oa to confront the Guardians when he was attacked by Atrocitus, and that's how he crash landed on Earth, which leads to Hal and Sinestro starting to doubt the Guardians. The movies end with the two working together and defeating the Manhunters and establishing their relationship as brothers/rivals. Movie 5 in Phase 1 will be a Flash movie, the typical Barry Allen origin story, a forensic scientist who's been trying to clear his father's name for the murder of his mother. He gets hit by a lightning bolt, which gives him his powers, where he becomes the Flash with the help of Star Lab scientist, head scientist, Celeste Stone. Establishing Barry and Iris West's relationship. Also, the whole point of this movie is teaching Barry to slow down, as his life is always ongoing. He needs to slow down and think about his moves and live in the moment. The main villain will be Reverse Flash, E. Bernard Thorne, who has caused every inconvenience in Barry's life, the typical Flash versus Reverse Flash storyline. Movie 6 in Phase 1 is where we really start seeing the universe form as it is, with Superman and Batman, world's finest. I definitely want Superman and Batman to already have an established relationship before the big team up. I don't want them to have a full battle like in Batman v Superman, but instead be at odds with each other for how they operate. Show that they both want the same thing but go about it different ways. The movie's main villain will be Bruno Mannheim and Intergang. Basically, Batman is fighting a gang in Gotham. Could be Penguin or Two-Face, but they have some extremely high-tech weaponry. Batman interrogates them and learns they got them from Intergang and Metropolis. Realizing that those weapons are way too dangerous, Batman goes to Metropolis to stop the dealers. At the same time, Lois and Clark are working on the story to connect businessman Bruno Mannheim to Intergang, which will put Batman and Superman together. They will go about it their separate ways, but eventually learn to work together and appreciate what the other brings. Also, we will learn that Bruno Mannheim is using weapons from Apocalypse, and Kanto is his supplier. The movie will end with Mannheim escaping to Apocalypse with Kanto and meeting Kanto's master, Darkseid. The 7th and final movie of Phase 1 is Justice League Invasion. We've established Superman, Batman, and their relationship. We've also established newer heroes like Wonder Woman, Hal Jordan, and The Flash. Now we bring them all together with basically almost the same plot as Justice League anime series Secret Origins, but replace Imperium with the White Martians and replace Hawkgirl with Aquaman. Martian Manhunter is the one that brings the team together, just like in the show, to stop the White Martians from invading Earth. Aquaman comes to the surface because one of the White Martians' machines is messing with the oceans and causing disturbances similar to his introduction to the 52 Justice League origin. I really wanted to have the original 7 be the founding members of the Justice League in this universe, with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, The Flash, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter. The members also continue each character's story arcs from their movies. Superman trying to be the beacon of hope for the people, Batman still not liking to work with others and not trusting, Wonder Woman trying to protect the world that she is still trying to understand, Hal Jordan continuing his role as Green Lantern, protecting and expanding his knowledge of the cosmic side of the universe, Barry showing his ability to slow down and think of his actions. Also setting up new characters like Aquaman, who came up to protect his kingdom, and Martian Manhunter dealing with being the last surviving Green Martian and not wanting his new home destroyed. The main character of this movie will be Martian Manhunter, showing how he escaped Mars and has been living on Earth for about 50 years, disguised now as John Jones, a detective who has been investigating who he believes were white Martians using their shape-shifting powers, and once he saw there was an invasion, he uses his telepathy to bring together Earth's champions. The movie will end with them forming the Justice League and making the Hall of Justice. Batman is still reluctant to become a full-fledged member. They agree that when a threat that big comes back to Earth, they will all come together again to stop it. And end. This is my Phase 1. We've established each of the main heroes or set up ones for their own arcs. Also, we set up where each of their own individual stories can go next, while alluding to much bigger threats to come down the line. What made the MCU so good was all the characters had their own personal journeys that they had to go through in between each Avengers movie that helped them grow, and that is what I plan to do with my universe. Let me know what you think, what you like, didn't like, what you would do differently or expand upon. If you would like to see my Phase 2 in this universe, leave this video a like and share. Thank you for watching.